Welcome, gentlemen, to day two. It's another video, and you're probably wondering, okay, like, who is this guy? Okay, why am I going to buy a program called Modern Day Sexual Man? What does this guy have to do? What does he have to teach? Who is he? Okay, so I'm going to tell you my story. Okay, first of all, like, it all goes back to when I was a young kid, probably like 15, 16, around there, and of course, at that age, your testosterone's going, your hormones are going, and sex, you're thinking about it. It's all over the place. You're walking around with boners at school trying to hide it. Like, there's no control back then, okay? And this is what I went through because when I was growing up, you didn't really have sexual role models. Like I said, it was kind of one of those things that was very unfortunate because there was nowhere to turn, especially back then. There was no internet, and you didn't know where to go. So what did you do? You couldn't ask anyone because no one that I knew, it was my age, was experienced. And you just don't go up to some stranger, some old man or some regular man and be like, hey, can you teach me about sex? That didn't happen either. So what did I do? How did I get to this point where I was able to create a program and create like a lot of new techniques and new ideas about sex? So who am I? All right. Well, it all started back a long time ago, like I said, when I was younger. And I had the urge, like most men do, to have sex. And there came a point in my life when I was basically, with a girl. And I remember I was thinking in my mind, okay, hey, I was nervous, okay, definitely nervous. And it got to this point where I kind of was hooking up with this girl, but I didn't have sex yet. But I did like everything else, and I came nonstop. I was just like coming. She grinded on me. I was coming. It was really embarrassing. In fact, this is what was the straw that broke the camel's back because it's like just putting it in, I'd come, and it was mortifying. Okay, and a lot of guys can't talk about this, but I'll talk about it because hey, it's a long time ago. B, I already talked to that girl, and I was like, hey, we can try that again now that I'm experienced. It was just one of those things. All right, so this time came and I was just like, it was like premature ejaculation after thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was so nervous. I was in my head. I was talking baseball, dead babies, whatever it took to think that I could become a good lover. And it wasn't until that time where I really began to study because I was like, look, this is mortifying. This is ridiculous that I even have to deal with this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. There's no one to turn to. And I began to go get books. And back then, there wasn't even a lot of books back then, okay? But I sat there and I got some books and I read them over and over and over. And I got new ones and I read them over and over and over. And at first, was I a great lover? No, not really. It took me many years to establish what I was doing. And it was good because finally, when I did get a girlfriend, I was able to take all the techniques that I was learning about, that I was studying, and put them to use and utilize her. Not use her, but we were together. Basically, practice on her, and I practiced a lot. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I moved on. I started to learn some things, and I started to get the foundation about. But then I had the unique experience because I was always kind of looking for a mentor, and I didn't really have one. And there wasn't really a lot of guys, like I said, that were out there to teach. And so what did I do? I put myself where you should if you want to have lots of women around and you want to have lots of sex. Okay, I started working as a bouncer in a strip club, and not just any strip club, but a seedy, blue collar, tough strip club. And that's where I started. And it's been 23 years later, and I had a lot of experience, put it that way. Okay, over the years, I learned a lot of stuff, and I used this whole time because I was thinking in my mind, I'm going to become the best at this. I want to learn more about this than anyone, and I want to be able to give back as well because I've had the experience, I've lived the lifestyle of 100 guys. Okay, in all honesty, I've seen it, I've done it. It's just I understand it, and I'm ready to share it on. I'm ready to move on because, like I said, when you get to this level, I am sexually satisfied completely, 100%. I feel like I've lived it, I've done it, and it's time to give back now. So by going through this process, I've had thousands of women, and I was also a male dancer too, so I had that experience as well. But I've had thousands of women that I was able to explore with, and basically be curious about and learn how their bodies work. And I've seen all kinds of different women, heavy women, light women, beautiful women, short, tall, whatever it was. I basically was there and I learned it, and I know so much about different vaginas and what works and what doesn't work because I would try this and I would try that. I went very scientific about it, and I made it my focus to learn and to become the best lover that I could. And like I said, it's taken me down a very, very interesting path. So why am I here? Because I'm here basically now because it's time to give back, all right? And what I really want you to understand is that no matter where you're at on this path, okay, this path is always going to be teaching you lots of stuff about life, about dynamics, about so many wonderful things. And it's a great thing to study. If you're going to study, study sex, okay, because it's actually interesting, and it can get really, really pleasurable, and it can get really, really intense as well. So the main thing is what do you want? Think about this. What do you want? What's most important to you? And if being a good lover, if being a person who excels about being able to just utilize and explore life to the fullest, and this is something that you want, this program is going to be absolutely for you, because I'm telling you, the mindsets in here, like, you don't get a lot of mindsets from a guy. Like, maybe you have your rock stars and your movie stars, but they don't really have the mindset that they want to learn, okay? They just, like, get sex because it's pretty natural for them to get sex, because that's what happens when you're rich and you're famous, okay? I didn't have that. What I had was the luxury of being interested in and wanting to be the best that I could be, and being able to give back into sharing and to map the process out along the way. And like I said, I'm just glad to give back. So this video is kind of just going on and off a little bit, but the main thing I really want you to understand is, understand what makes a good lover. And I want you to be that lover, and I want you to be able to talk with women, have women talk about you, and I want you to be so absolutely curious about what makes a woman tick, so that you create just a beautiful life for yourself. So I think that's going to be enough for this video, because I just wanted to just give you a little bit of my story about who I was and what I went through, and why it's time now for me to give back. So remember, if you're watching this and you're enjoying it, I'm willing to share everything that I have now for your benefit. So if you like it, please feel free to share it. And other than that, this was day 2, and day 3 we're going to get into a little bit more stuff on, not only what makes a man a good lover, but how to be a masculine sexual man. So with that, guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Adios.